Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sakana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijan Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishavanu Devi Pranamami Haripriya Vanchakalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, thank you all for coming. So first, a quick announcement about the Zoom update. I got a further message from Zoom company that the Zoom recordings that were recorded before 22nd March last week, for a couple of months before 22nd March, they have an inherent glitch. They will never be able to play on your phones. For those recordings, you have to download on a computer and play from a computer. You have no other choice. Malti from the other batch, what she has done is she has converted those Zoom recordings from free software available on the website like Free Converter or something. And then she forwards that converted recording onto her cell phone and then it plays. So if any one of you have any leftover recordings that you have not been able to play and you are still interested to, you can convert it. It's at your risk to use some internet software, or you can just get a computer, a basic computer, to download and listen to it. So today we will finish Nectar of Instruction, text number 8, 9, and 10. First, we'll cover these texts, and then I will also answer inquiries submitted by devotees. For our next class onwards, Nectar of Devotion will start. So I had shared the template, what you have on screen also. I have shared the template. So print this template. Each of these lines have a significance. Each of the box has a significance. Each of these bolded lines, everything has a significance. So try to use it with a print copy. If you try to make it by yourself, will be a daunting task. And the second page has some charts. Print those also. For chart number 4, draw it like this on a blank page. You will need a bigger page. You have 10 points to write under each of these 4 boxes. And I had also shared invocation prayers. The invocation prayers for Nectar of Devotion are slightly different. It's there at the start of Nectar of Devotion by dedication to the Goswamis. And those of you who are listening to recordings, you can also get this template and the Nectar of Devotion template and the invocation either from me or from Sumnima, and have it ready for our next class. So let's begin with text number 9, 10, and 11. So text number 9, 10, and 11 are about glorification. Text number 9 talks about the hierarchy of the various dhams and various places. Text number 10 talks about the hierarchy of the various spiritual seekers. And text number 11 talks about Radha Kund, the highest place of pleasure for Lord Shri Krishna. So text number 9, the theme or the title of text number 9 is the hierarchy of material and spiritual worlds. Samma, are you able to read text number 9 translation?
Yes. Text number 9. The holy place known as Mathura is spiritually superior to Vaikuntha, the transcendental world, because the Lord appeared there. Superior to Mathurapuri is the transcendental forest of Vrindavan because of Krishna's Ras Leela pastimes. And superior to the forest of Vrindavan is Govardhan Hill, for it was raised by the divine hand of Sri Krishna and was the site of his various loving pastimes. And above all, the super excellent Sri Krishna Kund, Sri Radha Kund stands supreme, for it is overflooded with the ambrosial nectarine prema of the Lord of Gokul, Sri Krishna. Where then is that the intelligent person who is unwilling to serve this divine Radha Kunda, which is situated at the foot of Govardhan Hill?
So hierarchy in the spiritual world has to be understood in terms of rasa. In terms of tattva, the whole spiritual world is eternal. And everyone in the spiritual world is a liberated soul. Hence, everyone is perfect and everyone is happy. So, when we say Goloko Vrindavan is higher than Vaikuntha, or as here in Nectar of Instruction text number 9 says that Mathura here in India is higher than Vaikuntha, that does not mean that Vaikuntha residents are miserable and that they are thinking it will be nice if they can go to Mathura. No. From the point of Tattva, all places, all spiritual world places are perfect. Whether it be Vaikuntha, whether it be Goloka Vrindavan, they are perfect. But the difference is in terms of rasa. Example, for Hanumanji, the worship of Lord Ram is perfection of his life in his Dasya rasa. Hanuman is not thinking that Krishna is higher than Lord Ram, so I want to serve Krishna. No, Hanuman is satisfied in his Dasya rasa to serve Lord Ram. Similarly, all devotees in Vaikuntha are all satisfied. They are all perfect. Different devotees can be in different rasas and they can all still be perfect and satisfied. But in terms of intimacy and sweetness of pastimes, Krishna's pastimes are more intimate and sweeter than the pastimes of Vishnu. This is the difference in terms of rasa. Now, Mathura, which is here in India, is considered higher than Vaikuntha planet in the spiritual world because Krishna appeared in Mathura. Now, Krishna exists in the spiritual world and Krishna also appeared in Mathura in India. Now, Lord appearing at a particular place makes the place so very special. Now, spiritual world is not accessible to us. At least it's not accessible to me. But Mathura in the material world is accessible to all of us. Vaikuntha in the spiritual world is elevated. But I cannot attain Vaikuntha right now. I don't have access to Vaikuntha. I don't have access to the heart of great yogis who have access to Vaikuntha unless I myself become a great yogi. But we can have and join the association of devotees in Mathura and places like Mathura where they are glorifying Krishna, and at such places right here on earth we can relish his glories. Hence, the Lord is saying that I am present where my devotees are glorifying me. Similarly, Mathura in India is spiritual world itself. It has become accessible to all of us right here in the material world. Now, a question may come up that we say that Vrindavan, Mathura are all spiritual world. But when I go to these places, all I see is sewage and dirt and hogs consuming stool, etc., and all commercialization. So what do you mean that these are spiritual world? Is spiritual world like this dirty? So most recently, Dhara from our dispatch is right now in Vrindavan. She has visited Mathura and Vrindavan. So she is right now in Vrindavan. And most recently, from the devotees present here, Diksha and Abhishek Prabhus, they have also recently visited these places. And Ritu is actually living in Vrindavan. She's just visiting Toronto right now. So all these devotees will tell you, well, if you go to Vrindavan and Mathura, you will see all this garbage. You will see all this dirt and hogs and commercialization. So is spiritual world something like this? So all these devotees virtually present here, Ritu, Diksha, Abhishek Prabhus, did you all notice all of this?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, yes, but whenever we enter the temple, we forget everything.
Okay, hold your thought and we'll come to
Yes.
that. Okay, Abhishek Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji, there's not.
All right. So how do you understand this? So let me answer this. So why Ritu is able to say that she is only able to see the spirituality? We'll understand this very soon. Meghna Samant.
Because what they mean is that Vrindavan is a mental state, doesn't have to be a physical state.
You are correct. So Vrindavan is both a physical as well as a mental state. So we'll come to that point also very soon. You are correct, Meghna. But physically also Vrindavan, if you go, we call Vrindavan as spiritual world. We just read in Nectar of Instruction text number 9 that all these places in material world like Mathura and Vrindavan, they are higher than spiritual world. But physically when you go to Vrindavan, they are dirty and there is commercialization. So is spiritual world like this? How do you understand this? Let me answer this. So universe is like a computer, a mainframe computer with different levels of access to different users based on their adhikar. With such material consciousness and impure senses and impure heart, when I go to Dham, these holy places like Mathura and Vrindavan, I see things only at material level, even at these holy places like Mathura and Vrindavan, because my consciousness is stuck at material level. Just as in a computer, like the network computer, data is hidden from the users. Similarly, in these holy dhams, there is spirituality, no doubt, but is not seen to my vision because I don't have the adhikar, because of my material consciousness. Therefore, I am not given access to see spirituality, even though I physically go to Mathura and Vrindavan. Now, advanced devotees have access to spirituality because they have become purified and therefore they have developed the adhikar and their consciousness is purified. Therefore, they are able to see spirituality in Mathura and Vrindavan, exactly what Ritu was just describing a few minutes ago. Meghna?
Sorry, but then why does that only have to be Mathura or Vrindavan? I think an advanced devotee will see the rasa in every existence, would they not?
You are absolutely correct, and it's an upcoming discussion. What you just pointed out, Meghna, that Vrindavan is not just a physical place, it's also the mood. So we discussed at our last class that you can take a devotee out of Vrindavan, but you cannot take Vrindavan out of a devotee. Meaning, when Srila Prabhupada came to the West, leaving Vrindavan, the physical Vrindavan, Prabhupada carried Vrindavan with him and replicated Vrindavan everywhere with his mood of Vrindavan, the mood of selfless service. So you are absolutely correct. For an advanced devotee, it does not matter whether he is physically in Vrindavan or physically in a metropolis city like Bombay or Toronto or whatever be the city. It does not matter because he is creating Vrindavan everywhere. Just as Srila Prabhupada created Vrindavan, not just in New York or Toronto or all these other big cities. He created Vrindavan at 108 different centers. He didn't create centers. Srila Prabhupada created 108 holy dhams all across the world. Meghna, does that answer?
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Now, the other question will come up that then what do we do when we go to these holy dhams? How can we develop that spiritual perception? So, Dhara and Diksha definitely got instructions from me in terms of what to do and what not to do when they traveled to the holy dhams, and I provided them guidance based on what is available in scriptures, based on what other pure devotees have taught us in scriptures, and I shared with them, and they followed that. So the answer in terms of what we have to do when we go to dham is that we integrate scriptural description with sensory perception and pray for spiritual revelation. So first, we have to see with our ears. Means we have to hear. Second, we need to perceive with our senses so that we are engaging our senses in Krishna's service. So I'll give the example of Dhara and Diksha because they went through this just in the last few weeks, and Dhara is right now in Vrindavan. So they heard from me what scriptures are saying. I gave them the references from how Vidura in Canto 3 has taught us what we should be doing and not doing. So they heard that don't go with material consciousness, go with spiritual consciousness and prepare your consciousness. So while you are traveling, don't look at television when you are sitting in an airplane. Read Bhagavad Gita, listen to Prabhupada lecture, get caught up on our class recordings. So your consciousness you are developing as spiritual consciousness. Then when you go there, this is the second step. So you heard from scriptures, all these pastimes, all these things that you have to do for preparing your consciousness. Then when you go there with the mood of service, that you serve Vrajvasis there. And you also hear from Vrajvasis that how they are completely absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna, and you learn from there, learn from them. So all these Vrajvasis, they are actually pure devotees from spiritual world. They are here in the material world to teach us how to be devoted to Krishna, how to always be absorbed in Krishna, so that we can go back home to Godhead and do the same services in the spiritual world. So this is the second step, that you engage your senses in service of Krishna while you are at the holy dham. You are not going to the holy dham for sightseeing. So one of the definition of pure devotional service is Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Uchate. That bhakti means to engage our senses in service of Krishna. So although I may not perceive the dham right now with my sensory perception, but we go to the dham and perceive, actually it is not so much of perception, but it is the sensory service for our purification. So service and purification happens through perception. Therefore, use your senses in services while you are physically at the dham, then you will get access to spirituality while you are at the holy dham. So even when, say, you have to go for shopping while you are in Mathura or Vrindavan, I gave them directions to both Dhara and Diksha that don't go by yourself because it is commercial place. Go with a devotee, a local devotee, and they will take you exactly to the place of what you need to buy and come back, so that you are not getting entangled in the commercialization and you are not getting entangled in all the garbage, etc. You are just there to associate with devotees, to hear from devotees, and to do services to the devotees and then come back. I would pause here for Diksha, Ritu, Abhishek to share some of your experiences while you were there.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can you please repeat your question?
So you can share your experience that when you are physically in Vrindavan, what's your experience like? What exactly do you do?
Prabhuji, it's a very different place. Wherever you will go, everyone will say Radhe Radhe.
Yeah.
So you have to say Radhe Radhe every time.
Okay, very
And
good.
they are all dedicated to Lord Krishna. They don't know anything other than Lord Krishna.
Very good. Diksha and
Even
Abhishek Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Recently, I got a chance to go to Mayapur, Navadip Parikrama, and the whole experience was very spiritual and overwhelming for me, Prabhuji, personally, because there were some of the few things that I saw had an effect in me in devotee association. For example, I was able to chant 16 round while I was in the parikrama. And the second thing we were told that Prabhuji, on the third day, we were actually walking to Belpukur, a place named Belpukur, and there was a statue of Proud Maya. So we were told by devotee that whoever do not get the blessing of Radharani, Srimati Radharani, will not be able to finish the parikrama on its all. So there were so many devotee who fell sick just after just after the Proud Maya temple, and a lot of devotee had to go back to Mayapur and then get themselves treated. So that was something very amazing that I got to witness. And the other thing in devotee association, I was also able to wake up at 2:30 in the morning and then get ready for Mangal Arati by 4:30. And we did see a lot of Brajbasis serving us throughout the day without even feeling tired. And the entire experience was so very transcendental, Prabhuji. I urge each one of you who is present here to at least go visit Mayapur and take part in Navadip Parikrama, because the bliss that I felt when I was there in Mayapur cannot be experienced even while we stay and do scripture reading here.
Okay,
So I
very
guess
good.
you get that Krishna prem when you
Yeah.
go there.
Yeah, very good. So I will pause here for a minute. So how Ritu was saying that how everybody is saying Radhe Radhe, because they are all spiritual. So you are also getting infected in a good way, and how Diksha is describing that how everyone is serving. So I wanna bring up on screen. So here's my spiritual master who was recently in Vrindavan, see what my spiritual master is doing. He's serving Vrajvasis. This is my spiritual master, and this devotee behind him is my god brother. He always travels, generally always travels with my spiritual master. Now somebody may say, well, this is just a picture. Somebody may just have taken a picture. So all these are Vrajvasis, and my spiritual master, he's a spiritual master and he's serving. And I will show you a video where my spiritual master is actually serving prasad to these Vrajvasis. So let me play this video of my spiritual master. I will bring up on screen. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I'll bring up on screen. Okay, bear with me. So here's my spiritual master. So he's teaching us by example. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And if you see, this is my Guru Ma, my spiritual master's wife. She is also serving Vrajvasis. Let's continue. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. All right, questions, comments, realizations from everybody? So this is the mood we have to go. When we go to Vrindavan, this service mood is what we have to go with and what we have to develop and imbibe from the Vrajvasis over there. Everybody on the same page? Questions, comments, realizations?
So question, so when is a good time we can go there?
You can go every time. You can try to go when Guru Maharaj is going. So Guru Maharaj generally has, as every year, he will either have a trip to Vrindavan or to Mayapur or to Puri. You can try to go when Guru Maharaj is going, and you will have a lot of direct association as well as serving Guru Maharaj there. But there is no such bad time. And specifically, if you go to Vrindavan and Mayapur and Holidham during Kartik month, your devotional benefit is magnified like 1,000 times. Matan Prabhu?
Okay, thank you.
Ritu?
Yes, Prabhuji, but we should avoid the summer and rainy season.
All right.
Otherwise, this public from Canada, they will be stuck. That is too dirty.
Yeah.
And they won't be able to see God there.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. So Ritu is physically from Vrindavan. We are lucky to have the association of an actual Vrajvasi. Thank you. And she's just traveling here for her family, being here in Toronto. And she will at some point again go back to being physically in Vrindavan. Very good. Everybody on the same page? I still have a lot of talking to do. Meghna?
Why are the months of Kartik more? Why is the month of Kartik shown to increase your devotion?
Yeah, so the video that I showed, the visual and the video that I showed for my Guru Maharaj is actually last Kartik month when my spiritual master was in Vrindavan. So Kartik is the most favorite month of Krishna. And scriptures have described that if you do whatever devotional service in the month of Kartik, you get 1,000 times more benefit. So what I personally do during the month of Kartik, I'm supposed to chant 16 rounds of japa every day. It's mandatory. During the month of Kartik, I chant one extra round, meaning I chant 17 rounds. Of course, I will do more reading and whatever extra services are available, I will do it. But services I may not have direct leverage for. But what is in my control? So for the month of Kartik, I generally chant one extra round because scriptures have said that you will get 1,000 times more benefit for that extra round or whatever extra devotional service that you do during the month of Kartik. Meghna? Okay. So continuing our discussion of text number 9, now we said that the hierarchy is given. First was Mathura, now then comes Vrindavan. That Vrindavan is a place where Krishna performed his most intimate pastimes. Therefore, higher than Mathura is Vrindavan for the very intimate pastimes in the 12 forests of Vrindavan. And then Govardhan. Govardhan rendered intimate service to Krishna as Krishna used Govardhan as an umbrella for protection of the Vrajvasis during the heavy rain that Indra showered on Vrajvasis and Vrindavan. The gopis, who are themselves the greatest of devotees, they call Govardhan as an exalted devotee. And around Govardhan, there are these Radha Kund and Shyam Kund. Now, those who go to travel these places, I tell them what I have heard from scriptures and from acharyas, that do not bathe in Radha Kund. Radha Kund is very sacred place and Shyam Kund are very sacred places. And do not bathe in them. You can go sit on the banks of these Radha Kund and Shyam Kund. You can dip your japa mala. You can take 1 or 2 drops of water from them and sprinkle on you, but do not enter these Shyam Kund and Radha Kund. These are not ordinary places. These are the highest spiritual places giving highest ecstasy to Krishna. So that which is sacred also has to be treated respectfully and carefully. So Srila Prabhupada talks about Radha Kund repeatedly in his purports and explains that Radha Kund is the most sacred place. Therefore, you have to be respectful to Radha Kund. So one time, devotees started taking Radha Kund very lightly, and they were swimming and dancing in Radha Kund as if they were in a swimming pool. And this made Srila Prabhupada very unhappy. And Srila Prabhupada said, don't bathe over here. This is not a swimming pool. This is not an ordinary place. You will commit aparad or you will commit offense at such a sacred place. And when you have come here for purification and not for sense gratification. So if you are not careful around Radha Kund will soon become Narak Kund because the degree of offenses will get magnified if you commit an offense at Radha Kund. Now, by saying don't bathe in Radha Kund, the point is that Srila Prabhupada did not want us to be taking Radha Kund very lightly. Srila Prabhupada is sending a strong message that any careless attitude towards Radhakund is inappropriate. Srila Prabhupada's desire has been that we should take shelter of Radhakund. Taking shelter of Radhakund is not just by bathing, but taking shelter of Srimati Radharani and Radhakund is in the mood of selfless service. This selfless mood of service is also there in Srimati Radharani. So we just witnessed my spiritual master and my Guruma having the selfless mood of service, serving Vrajvasis. So as we have discussed earlier, that for most of us, it is not practical to reside in and around Radhakund. And we may take the holy place cheaply and commit aparadh over there. Radhakund therefore will easily become Narakund, and the magnitude of offenses will destroy the bhakti. Srila Prabhupada has told us that we stay in our heart at Radhakund, and we stay in our heart at Vrindavan, exactly what Meghna was pointing out a few minutes ago. Essentially, staying in Vrindavan, staying at Radhakund is more a matter of mood. When we cultivate the mood of selfless service and devotion, will give us residence at Radhakund. So you don't have to physically go to Vrindavan. If you can, by all means, you can visit. Rather, the appropriate is that you create a Vrindavan around you. Make your home as a temple. Serve and worship Shri Shri Radha Krishna. Serve devotees at your home. Glorify Shri Shri Radha Krishna. Have kirtan and home programs at your home. That way your home temple or your home itself is Vrindavan, and you are 24 hours living in Vrindavan with the mood of selfless service. Everybody on the same page? Questions, comments, realizations?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, this Vrajvasis, they are like, we consider the born people, or we consider devotees whom we know, because we can't see what is in someone's heart.
Yeah, you are correct. So we have discussed this in Bhagavad Gita 9.13 and 14, that what is in the heart has to be expressed. So it is not just somebody physically taking birth. Yes, somebody taking birth also is possibly an elevated devotee. But what determines a Vrajvasi is the mood of selfless service. Just as Diksha pointed out, that normally it is very difficult to wake up early and to complete 16 rounds of japa. But in association of devotees, it became very easy to wake up that early in the morning, at 2:30 in the morning, in the middle of night. Get ready and attend Mangal Aarti. And when you go to Mangal Aarti in Vrindavan and Mayapur and Dwarka places, the temple is full. Right? So all those devotees who are doing these regular services, who are constantly engaged in remembering Krishna, they are Vrajvasis. Whether or not they are physically born there, that is secondary. But how Ritu was correctly pointing out, that the true Vrajvasis are always focused on Radhe Radhe, because they know that one who has the mercy of Srimati Radharani will be able to do devotional service, exactly what Diksha pointed out with a live example. Abhishek Prabhu?
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji.
Right, so in Bhagavad Gita 9.13 and 14, we have discussed that the 9.13 is internal devotion of a pure devotee. 9.14 is the external, that the internal devotion comes out externally, that the devotee is constantly engaged in devotional service, in kirtan and whatever activities are available for services. Everybody on the same page for text number 9?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, I have a question.
Mhm.
Prabhuji, since it's said that whatever devotional service we do while at Dham gets multiplied like 100 or 1,000 times, so is it not so that the ones who are eating meat or doing some sins gets multiplied that many times as well?
Exactly, and that's why I say Radha Kund will soon become Narak Kund. Narak means hell, right? So that the negative part, the offenses is also magnified that many times. You are absolutely correct. Therefore, we have to be
I
very,
did
very,
see.
very, very careful. Therefore, anyone who plans to visit to these holy dhams, have a chat with me before you go, just as Dhara and Diksha most recently had this chat with me. There are other devotees from other batches who have done the same and followed, so that you don't create offenses, rather you get the most benefit. Diksha, you wanted to say something?
Yes, Prabhuji. While we were going through, like, while we were walking in the parikrama, we did go through a lot of Muslim like villages. So they were also observing fast during those times. But as per my knowledge, that they do take meat. So is it that their sins like get multiplied that many times because they're consuming meat in like holy places?
Yeah. So you are correct that at holy places, whatever negative you do will get multiplied. And again, as we discussed, that many people try to take advantage of these holy places, that, oh, so many people are visiting, let me go and do business there. And they are there with their commercial mindset. So we try to avoid all of them, and just try to focus on being in association with real Vrajvasis, hear from them how they are absorbed constantly in Krishna and are constantly absorbed in devotional services. Ritu?
No, Prabhuji, in Vrindavan, meat and egg is not allowed.
Yeah, you are correct, but somebody may get it from some outskirts and bring and eat there.
No, I think it's impossible.
Yeah, I
It's not
understand.
available there. Nobody can get until they're bringing from Delhi.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, that somebody may bring it from outskirts and
Yes.
come and consume there, but their negative points will get magnified significantly.
Okay.
Gauri?
Hare Krishna, I just had a question for everyone who has experienced Vrindavan. Like, if we suppose physically or monetarily we don't have, we cannot go to Vrindavan, how close is New Vrindavan in an experience wise?
So I will explain. So if you cannot go physically to the Vrindavan in India, it's okay. You create a Vrindavan at your home. You don't have to go outside your home. You create a temple in your home, worship Gopinath, glorify Gopinath there, and get devotees, create a home program and invite devotees. That becomes Vrindavan for you. Forget New Vrindavan in US. That's still about, depending on how you travel, it's about 4 or 5 hours travel or more, depending on how you travel. You don't even have to travel to New Vrindavan. It is just make your home as Vrindavan. If you want to know about New Vrindavan, you can connect with Archana, who visited recently. She's from the other batch. Can connect with her. Um, I don't know if anybody here has been to New Vrindavan, but definitely Archana went to New Vrindavan just a couple of months back. Sorry. All right. So text number 9 was about hierarchy of various places. Text number 10 talks about the hierarchy of various levels of people. So the theme or the title of text number 10 is hierarchy of different types of human beings. It starts from the bottom most sinful materialistic people and goes to the topmost of all devotees, Srimati Radharani. So text number 10 has 6 levels of people. First is Vikarmi, second is Karmi, third is Gyani, fourth Bhakta, fifth Gopis, and sixth Srimati Radharani. Meghna Samant, verse number 10 translation.
In the Shastra, it is said that all types of prodigative workers, he who is advanced in knowledge of the higher values of life is favored by the Supreme Lord Hari. Out of many such people who are advanced in knowledge, jnanis, one who is practically liberated by virtue of his knowledge may take to devotional service. He is superior to the others. However, one who has actually attained prema, pure love of Krishna, is superior to him. The gopis are exalted above all the advanced devotees because they are always totally dependent upon Sri Krishna, the transcendental cowherd boy. Among the gopis, Srimati Radharani is the most dear to Krishna. Her Kunda lake is as profoundly dear to Lord Krishna as this most beloved of the gopis, who then will not reside at Radha Kunda and in a spiritual body surcharged with ecstatic devotional feelings, aprakrita bhava, render loving service to the divine couple of Sri Radha Govinda, who perform their Ashtakaliya Leela, their eternal eightfold daily pastimes. Indeed, those who execute devotional service on the banks of Radha Kunda are the most fortunate people in the universe.
So I will explain these 6 levels one after the other in terms of what text number 10 gives the hierarchy of peoples, of human beings. So first is Vikarmis. So characteristics of Vikarmis are that they act without spiritual knowledge. They take birth as animals, trees, etc. I mean, they may have a human body, but they are living like animals. So they are no different than animals. And Srila Prabhupada includes this level of Vikarmis, even though this is not talked about in the verse itself. The translations actually starts from Karmis. But Srila Prabhupada extends the scope to include all people in Kali Yuga also, especially people in current times who are largely Vikarmis. Unfortunately, most people today in Kali Yuga are Vikarmis. They don't follow scriptures. They are not in dharmic fold at all. Just as if we do not follow the laws of gravity and we try to jump off a building, we will break ourselves. Similarly, we have to act according to the laws of the God given in the scriptures. Now, difference is that the results of defying gravity are seen immediately. That if somebody jumps from a building, he will break his bones. It will be physically seen immediately. While for the law of karma or other laws of nature, actions do lead to consequences, even if consequences are not immediately visible to us. But yes, those consequences will materialize at some point of time. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16, it describes the interest, the activities, and mentalities of Vikarmis. 16.23, Krishna says that those who reject scriptures, they act on their own selfish desires. They do not get any happiness and they do not attain the supreme destination. Then the next is karmis. Therefore, scripture state that we should at least become karmi, like you start moving towards spirituality. In the Vedic context and in Nectar of Instruction text number 10, the very first part about karmis, karmis does not refer to we karmis, but refers to karma kandyas. Karmis refers to karma kandya, that you are within the devotional mode, you start following scriptures, that is karma kanda. So karma kandyas are religious materialistic people. So karmis act according to Vedic knowledge and karmis are superior to vikarmis. Both vikarmis and karmis are interested in material enjoyment, but the difference is that karmis focus on getting material enjoyment within a dharmic framework by following scriptures. This is definitely better because karmis are on the path of gradual elevation as compared to we karmis who just want to enjoy without any regulation. Now, Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.2 calls Karmakanda Dharma as Kaitava Dharma. Kaitava Dharma means cheating religion. From Srimad Bhagavatam's perspective, Kaitava Dharma is to be given up and just focus on pure devotional service because this Karmakanda Kaitava Dharma, the cheating religion, is going to keep you bound in the material world. Therefore, give up Karmakanda. For people in general who are not at the level of practicing Srimad Bhagavatam, for them, Karma Kanda is important. That's their starting point. So Karma Kanda and Varnashram provides a social arrangement by which they can progress materially as well as progress spiritually at a slow pace, what is appropriate for them till they meet a pure devotee, and then they will jump fast their spirituality. Then the next level is Jnanis. That those karmis who start seeking moksha, or those who start seeking liberation, because they understand that this material world is temporary and a place of misery, so they go on to become jnani, means have little more knowledge. So jnanis come to the platform of jnana or atma tattva. Jnanis know that fruitive activities bind one to the material world. Jnanis are superior to karmis. Unless Jnanis takes to devotional service, they are still somewhat in ignorance also, and it may take them several lifetimes to come to the point of devotional service as is described in Bhagavad Gita 7.19. So Jnanis practice is just contemplation. They are just simply meditating. They are sitting and trying to say, this is not, this is not, this is not spiritual. Neti, neti, neti. So the Jnanis want to empty their mind of all materialistic sinful thoughts and simply want to focus on the Atma Tattva. So Jnanis is like creating a vacuum. Creating a vacuum is very difficult. And even if you are able to create a vacuum, sustaining that vacuum is even more difficult. A tiny blurb of air and the vacuum is broken means Jnanis are trying to create a vacuum in their consciousness, which is difficult. And even if it is possible, a tiny desire that comes through their mind and their consciousness, their level, they fall down from their level. Meghna?
Are Gyanis trying to create that vacuum or that emptiness by focusing on material knowledge?
On spiritual knowledge, not on material knowledge.
Okay.
Gyanis focus on Atma within the body.
Okay, thank you.
The next level is Bhakta. Bhaktas or devotees, they perform devotional service under regulative principles. By such practice, bhaktas go on to become a pure devotee. So in this hierarchy, Srila Prabhupada has included devotees who are seekers and devotees who are seers. So seekers means they are practicing devotional service as sadhana. And at some point they will go on to become a seer, means they will go on to become a pure devotee. So most people in the material world are vikarmis. They don't follow any scriptures. Among them, few are karmis, that few start following scriptures. They are karma kanda. Among the few that are karmis, very few are jnanis, and among the jnanis, very few are devotees. So you all can visualize yourself that you all are devotees. That how rare you all are, how very precious you all are, that in the hierarchy, you have elevated yourself at least to a certain level. And if you keep continuing to engage yourself in such devotional service, at some point of time, depending on your endeavor, you will go on to become a pure devotee as well. The next level is gopis. So among devotees who develop love of God, they are the highest, mean the gopis. The characteristics of gopis are that gopis only know about satisfying Krishna. They don't care for anything else. Simultaneously, gopis expect no return from Krishna. Gopis cannot forget Krishna. And gopis are the most exalted of devotees. The specialty of gopis is that gopis are engaged in the most selfless form of devotion. After studying the initial 9 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam, we understand and we don't see Krishna and gopis as men and women, but we see them as Lord and devotees. Krishna embracing gopis or Lord Ram embracing Hanuman is identical. Both are devotees at the tattva level, and rasa is different for gopis and Hanumanji, but tattva is the same. We see gopis foremost as devotees, not as females. And we have to understand the gopis' love. We have to be very careful. We should not misunderstand them as males and female. Gauri, you had a question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Just based on the previous discussion and this hierarchy, what is the difference between Rajavasis and Gopis?
So it's a mood. Vrajvasis will be, gopis will be Vrajvasis also. They are Rajvasis. So you may also have gopas, meaning somebody in male body. They are also identically as gopis because they have selfless devotion to Krishna. Gauri,
Hare Krishna, thank you, Prabhuji.
make that.
So it's like subset.
What is a subset?
Gopis are subsets of bhaktas.
Bhaktas are a subset of gopis. Gopis are higher. If you look in the hierarchy, like it starts from the bottom. So you have bhaktas and then you elevate to gopis. So it's the other way around. Meghna? All right. And the highest is Srimati Radharani. That of all gopis, Srimati Radharani is the highest because her love for Krishna is the highest. Even Krishna cannot understand Srimati Radharani's love. Therefore, Krishna appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the mood of Srimati Radharani to understand the love of Srimati Radharani for Krishna. So here's a question for all of you. All of you try to answer this. What will happen to you all, and what will you all do if Lord Vishnu manifests in front of you? Everybody, please answer.
Prabhuji, I will ask for bhakti.
Okay. Everybody, please answer. What will happen to you, and or what will you do if Lord Vishnu manifests in front of you?
Just
Hare
bow
Krishna.
down, that's it.
Okay,
Nothing more.
Meghna will offer obeisances. Okay, Abhishek Prabhu.
If we, like pay obeisances and prayers.
Okay. Rest of you.
Obeisances, ask for forgiveness, glorification.
Okay. Rest of you have not answered. Very important to understand. I got silence from many of you. Diksha.
Ask bhakti from him.
Okay. Rest of you.
I think I'll just be shocked.
Okay. Gauri.
Well, first of all, if I am able to see Lord Vishnu in front of me, then I'm able to recognize that he is present. I
Okay.
will feel fortunate that I was able to recognize him.
All right. Rest of you have not answered. What will you do? What will happen to you?
Bow down, Prabhuji.
All right. Rest of
Offer obeisances, Prabhuji, and ask for forgiveness and also ask for service.
Okay. Rest of you have not answered. Sumnima, Kunal, who else? Chaitanya.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Sure.
I'll probably be shocked and not be able to do anything.
All right. So why I ask this question is understand the devotion of the gopis and Srimati Radharani. So this is described in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, chapters 29 to 33. It describes that how Krishna disappeared from the vision of Srimati Radharani and the gopis. After Krishna disappears, the Vishnu form of Krishna manifests in front of them, meaning in front of Srimati Radharani and the gopis. So normally, for a yogi, if they get darshan of Vishnu, that is the greatest ecstasy of their life. So some of you did say, I am in shock. I will be like, I will offer obeisances, right? You are in that greatest ecstasy. But the gopis' love for Krishna is so great that upon seeing Vishnu, it was disappointment for them. Now, any soul will be delighted to see Vishnu. But gopis, they got dejected because of their single pointed love for Krishna. And the gopis, they ask Vishnu, have you seen Krishna? So for gopis, seeing Vishnu was disappointment. Srimati Radharani's love for Krishna is so great that hearing Srimati Radharani's cry, the Krishna's Vishnu form disappears and then Krishna's Krishna form manifests in front of them. And I'm just trying to make a point that the devotion of gopis and Srimati Radharani, it's it's unimaginable. In our next scripture, Nectar of Devotion, a tiny glimpse of the intensity of the love of gopis and Srimati Radharani is described. It's just a tiny glimpse of the intensity, just for us to understand that the devotion, the love of gopis and Srimati Radharani is beyond comprehension for any one of us. Radha Kund is manifestation of Srimati Radharani's love for Krishna in liquid form, and we'll discuss this in the last text number 11 very soon. I'll pause here for questions, comments, realizations.
To clarify, like the descriptions are more on the higher levels and difficult.
You are correct that yes, these are higher. It's just giving a hierarchy so that we can set a goal of where we have to reach, where we are and where we have to go.
Okay, thank you.
Ritu?
Prabhuji, suppose Lord Vishnu appears in front of us, what will we do? What is the right?
Depends on your rasa, depends on your devotion. If you are a Vrajvasi, which you are, you will be like gopis, and you will ask to Vishnu, hey, have you seen Krishna? But if somebody, others like ordinary people like me, I will be in shock. I will be in awe and reverence, because that's my mood is of awe and reverence. I will fall down and offer obeisances and ask for forgiveness. It depends on your rasa. Not a black and white answer for everyone.
I think, Prabhuji, it's possible for you.
Possible for what?
Maybe he can appear in front of you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Kunal.
Yeah, Prabhuji. So if Lord Vishnu appears and we tell him that, okay, where is Lord Krishna? Will he not be offended like the gopis?
So to understand that Vishnu is expansion of Krishna. Vishnu is not a separate identity. It's just expansion of Krishna. He understands that these are highest devotees. He's not offended at all. No, and there, what happened? The Vishnu form disappeared and the Krishna form manifested. If he was offended, he would have done something to rectify. He did not. He just disappeared. He says, I have no role to play here. Krishna needs to come here and pacify his highest devotees. Kunal Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
So, Kunal Prabhu, when you have this fear, means you are in the mood of awe and reverence. Oh, you are God. Oh, you are so great. Oh, I bow down to you with folded hands. So that's the mood of awe and reverence. Versus the gopis and the gopas and Srimati Radharani, they are in the mood of love. They love to chastise Krishna, and Krishna is pleased when he gets chastised by them. The mood is different. There's no question of somebody getting offense here. All right. Text number 11 is titled Glories of Sri Radhakund. So text number 11 describes the topmost place and the topmost devotee. Text number 11 is talking about Radhakund, and this is a very advanced subject matter. I am not qualified to talk about Srimati Radharani and Radhakund. I will briefly touch base few points based on what I have heard from previous acharyas. Now, serving Radhakund is the theme of text number 11. Not just staying physically at Radhakund or bathing in Radhakund, rather having the mood of selfless service. Ritu, are you able to read text number 11 translation?
Hare Krishna, of the many objects of favored delight and of all the lovable damsels of Vrajabhumi, Srimati Radharani is certainly the most treasured object of Krishna's love. And in every respect, her divine kund is described by great sages as similarly dear to him. Undoubtedly, Radha Kund is very rarely attained even by the great devotees. Therefore, it is even more difficult for ordinary devotees to attain. If one simply bathes once within those holy waters, one's pure love of Krishna is fully aroused. Hare Krishna.
So first is why Radha Kund? Because Radha Kund belongs to Srimati Radharani, who is the most beloved gopi. Both Srimati Radharani and Radha Kund are the most treasured objects of Krishna's love. It is very rare to attain Radha Kund. Now question is, why is Rupa Goswami talking about bathing in Radha Kund in last text number 11 of Nectar of Instruction? We just read the text number 11 ends where that just take a bath in Radha Kund and your love for Krishna will get aroused. Well, why not put text number 11 as text number 1? Then you don't need any of the text. That if just by bathing in Radha Kund, one can develop love for Radha Krishna, then why write the whole Nectar of Instruction? If one statement of go and bathe in Radha Kund should have been good enough, the answer is that by applying instructions of Nectar of Instruction's initial text, we become progressively purified. After purification, we are devotionally prepared in our consciousness. Then if we bathe in Radha Kund, then we become stimulated with love for Krishna. Yes, Radha Kund has the potency, but at the same time, there are other principles also that we first need to follow to purify ourselves. So just as Kunal Prabhu asked at the last class or previous class, that is Nectar of Instruction for us or for others? No, Nectar of Instruction is for us. First, judge yourself that have you crossed the first text of being able to control the 6 urges? Then you can talk about the last text. So progressively purify yourself from the first text onwards. Text number 2, drop all the negative activities. Text number 3, do all the positive activities of bhakti. Text number 4, associate with devotees. Then you will come to the point of serving Radha Kund. Even though the text says bathe in Radha Kund, I strongly recommend you do not bathe in Radha Kund. From what I have heard from Srila Prabhupada and other acharyas. So you can go to Radha Kund, can dip your japa mala, can take few drops and sprinkle drops on you, on your head, but don't bathe in Radha Kund. Don't enter Radha Kund. Now going to Radha Kund or even going to Holy Dham is not for sightseeing purposes, but is meant for purification. Exactly what I described, like how Dhara and Diksha, they got instructions and they got the instructions from scriptures. What are we supposed to do and what are we supposed to not do? I described a few minutes ago about this. As we discussed in text number 9, how to be able to see the spirituality at Dham is by scriptural description plus sensory perception complemented by praying for spiritual revelation. So till spiritual revelation happens, we go to holy dhams primarily for purification, primarily for service. Hence, when we go to Radha Kund, our attitude has to be of service. Exactly what we saw from my spiritual master, His Grace Vaishyadas Adhikari, serving the Vrajvasis, as well as my Guru Ma, serving the Vrajvasis. Hence, some are very eager to stay at Radhakund, and then they tell others, "Oh, look, I have stayed at Radhakund." And then others who don't know scriptures, they may respond, "Oh, you are so advanced that you have stayed at Radhakund, the most holy place." And Bhaktivinoda Thakur did not entertain such pretentiousness. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, those who stay at Radhakund but have not controlled their senses, specifically if they do immoral activities at Radhakund, then Radhakund can become Narakund for them very, very soon. Sinful activities are bad, but sinful activities at holy places are worse. Just as what Diksha was pointing out about somebody eating non-vegetarian items at holy places. So on top, sinful activities at holy places, when pretending to be pious or a holy person, they are the worst of all. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, a prominent acharya in disciplic succession, he jolts us out of our devotional fantasies that just by going to Radhakund, that you will become elevated. No, get out of these fantasies. Yes, it is possible, provided you have proper consciousness. Otherwise, with improper consciousness, the Radhakund will very soon become Narakund, and you will drain out all your devotional credits. Radhakund has the potency, but also requires our purity. Otherwise, if we go there with impure heart, we will be dragged down. So Ritu was a few minutes ago pointing out that no, it is not possible for me to see Vishnu because I have impure heart. I know my impure heart. Therefore, Acharyas have cautioned us that we go to Radhakund with proper consciousness. Srila Prabhupada has said that don't bathe in Radhakund. If you do improper activities at Radhakund, it will be negative for you. Srila Prabhupada was so cautious. Leave alone immoral activities. Even just the casual swimming and tossing of water in Radhakund, Srila Prabhupada was angry, saying, don't do this. This is not a swimming pool. Playing in the water of Radhakund, Srila Prabhupada said, this is inappropriate. Therefore, what I recommend to you is, from scriptural study, from Srila Prabhupada and from Acharyas, don't enter Radhakund at all. Simply dip your japa mala, take few drops of water and sprinkle on your head as mercy. That's all. And sit there, do your japa, and all the Vrajvasis who are there around Radhakund, serve those Vrajvasis. Just as we saw it live by my spiritual masters serving the Vrajvasis, by my Guru Ma serving the Vrajvasis. That's the mood of Vrajvas. That's we have to develop. That is Vrajvas. Physically going to Vrajvas is, yes, if possible you can go, but you can simply develop the mood of selfless service that the Vrajvasis have, and you can have your home as Vrajvas, just as what Gauri was asking a few minutes ago. Now, some spiritual masters may allow you to enter Radhakund, while some spiritual masters may not, but I strongly recommend do not enter Radha Kund. You can just dip your japa beads in Radha Kund, or even you may have, say, the neck beads. Dip your neck beads. Let's say if you have a Narsim Kavach, you can dip the Narsim Kavach. So those of you who are in Toronto and around area, when you do this donation during the November-December book distribution marathon, so my spiritual master generally gives the either the neck beads or Narsim Kavach, which are actually dipped in various places in spiritual world, including Radha Kund, and you just put it on, so you have the blessings from all the places on you. And you can take few drops of water from Radha Kund and sprinkle on your head, but do not enter Radha Kund. Do not bathe in Radha Kund. Now, who can serve at Radha Kund? Those advanced in devotional service can serve. They have to follow the Sakhis and Manjaris. Sakhis and Manjaris is just another category of gopis. So Radha Kund is so great that great devotees like Narad Muni, Sonaka, they find it difficult to attain. Only the greatly fortunate can attain it. And how to serve at Radha Kund? By reciting, yes, it's if you can, by all means. We serve under the serving maids in loving service of the Lord, meaning we are serving the Vrajvasis. The important point is that we live our life to cultivate the right mood of selfless service. Then we are always in Vrajvas. Then we are always at Radha Kund with the selfless moods of service. The result of the selfless service mood will be that we will get pure love of Krishna, just as the gopis are selfless. If we imbibe the instructions of nectar of instruction, we will thus go back to Godhead. We will return to the shelter of Srimati Radharani, and we will serve in the spiritual world under the supervision of Srimati Radharani. Thus, we have completed nectar of instruction. Any questions, comments, realizations? Kunal?
So, Prabhuji, earlier you said that to me that you are in fear because you are in awe and reverence of the Lord. So, isn't that natural? Like whenever we go to the temple in front of the deity, we bow down, we join hands. So, is that a sign of fear?
So, fear is included in awe and reverence. So, your mood is of awe and reverence. It's not natural for everyone. Somebody may be in the mood of love. If you go to Vrajvas, they will be in the mood of love. But for rest of us, including myself, I'll be in the mood of awe and reverence. Yeah, I have fear. I do my sadhana because out of fear, or because my spiritual master has told me. I'm not doing the sadhana because I love to do my sadhana. Kunal Prabhu?
I mean, that can be respect as well, right? In front of elders, in
You
front
are
of the
correct.
Lord.
Yeah, awe and reverence means respect.
Okay.
You are correct. Somebody else also had a hand up or unmuted.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, irrespective of, no, we all practice the same sadhana, but is the rasa of a devotee change?
Generally, rasa doesn't change. That's your nature. That's your swabhava. So when I say rasa doesn't change, meaning you may start, say, with awe and reverence until your real rasa comes out. Once your real rasa comes out, then it's very difficult to change, because that's ingrained in you. Like initially, you may not know that you are in the mood of love, so you will start by awe and reverence because everybody around you is in awe and reverence. soon you will realize, well, no, wait a minute. I am in the mood of love. Well, then that will become your real rasa, means that real rasa has come out by then. Abhishek Prabhu?
And Prabhuji, like it is better to keep this internal because otherwise it may create problem for people around us.
You are absolutely correct. So pure devotee will say, I am neophyte. He is a pure devotee. He has Krishna constantly in his remembrance. He is constantly serving, but he will always say, oh, I am rascal number one. If you go to the Toronto temple, if you meet His Grace Dharma Prana Prabhu, who lives in the temple, very easy to identify. He is the only handicapped person. He is a pure devotee. He is in the temple room before 4 o'clock every single day, unless he is physically sick and cannot get out of the bed. He's very old, but he is the first person in the temple completing his 16 rounds. If you talk to him, he will say, I am rascal number one. Why? Because he doesn't want to show. Pure devotees' nature is they will never show their elevation. They will work like a neophyte externally, but internally their devotion is very high. Abhishek Prabhu?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Everybody on the same page? Questions, comments, realizations?
And Prabhuji, why is it not allowed to bathe in Radha Kund? Like even when we went, we were asked to just dip the beads in the Radha Kund.
Yeah, so because it is for the pleasure of Krishna, not for the pleasure of you. Right? When you go and bathe in Radha Kund, you will end up bathing as if you are in a swimming pool. That is not for your enjoyment. The Radha Kund is the highest place of pleasure for Krishna. So we are servants. We cannot be trying to enjoy the highest place of pleasure for the master. Therefore, don't enter. You just dip your beads, sprinkle some water, that's it, on top of your head. Kunal Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thanks.
Everybody on the same page? Has the nectar of instruction been helpful to you? Are you understanding and following through what all we discussed?
Prabhuji, we are trying to follow it.
Okay, you are anyway Vrajvasi, Ritu.
Hare Krishna.
All right, let me answer the inquiries submitted by devotees. Question number 1. In reference to verse number 7 purport, clarifying if it is wrong to buy sliced bread or ready-made bread chapatis or biscuits or cookies from a shop. So any item prepared by a Karmi people cannot be offered to Gopinath. It's not just bread, chapatis, cookies. Any store-bought item cannot be offered to Gopinath. If you read Bhagavad Gita 3.13, it says that any item not offered to Gopinath means one is consuming sin only. So bread bought from a store generally contains egg. So is another reason to not consume store-bought bread. Now these items of bread, cookies are actually very easy to make. The devotee who has asked this question is from Toronto and around area. You can come to the Toronto temple next time we do services at Toronto temple, and you can learn the recipe from Aditi Mataji and or Dwarkanath Prabhu. That you can make the dough and put it in the oven, and the bread and the cookies are ready very, very shortly. So it's actually is pretty straightforward to make these items. And of course, I already described that store-bought items cannot be offered, and if you're not offering, then you are consuming sin. Does that answer the inquiry?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Do you, like on this point, is it a like I understand it's a hard and fast thing, but um, I want to know that it may not be possible at all times for everyone, depending on the situation.
Yeah, so you start somewhere and then you keep growing. I'll tell you my own example. I used to offer one time in the morning the breakfast only. And then little by little it kept growing, and now I only honor prasadam. Right, so you start somewhere, don't beat yourself up, but with the understanding that okay, I'm starting at a point which is not 100% pure. With my goal is to reach to the proper level as soon as is possible.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. And this store bought, is there distinction on whether the food item is cooked or not?
Yeah, cooked.
Like fire has been used?
Yeah, cooked item for sure you don't offer. But other store bought, like you buy raw rice. Yeah, that you raw rice you bring, cook, and then you can offer. But anything cooked, so the bread is cooked and cookies are cooked, or any other cooked item. Say even you get sweets or some chevda, etc. You cannot offer because it's all cooked item.
Mhm. What about puffed rice?
It's the same thing, you cannot offer.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, question number 2. We learn in Krishna consciousness that one should not speak bad about another person. Yet on page 68, the atheists are called grossly foolish and lowest among mankind. How is it fair to call other people such names? We don't have to accept their values, but shouldn't we respect that they are allowed to have their perspective without being judged by us? So here's a question for all of you. All of you try to answer. That during the COVID pandemic, those who were infected with the COVID disease were isolated. So the question is, does the isolation mean that those with COVID disease were bad people? Everybody, please answer.
No,
Prabhuji.
No.
it was just protection.
All right. Rest of you have not answered.
No, Prabhuji. They were just infected.
Okay.
No problem.
All right. So correct. They are not bad people. They were just infected and we are trying to protect ourselves. So Srila Prabhupada never say grossly foolish and lowest among mankind these words directly to atheists or Mayavadis. Actually, when atheists and Mayavadis came to talk to Srila Prabhupada talked very nicely with them. These strong words, grossly foolish and lowest among mankind, these words are for us on the path of spirituality. So grossly foolish and lowest among mankind refers to their demoniac mentality and bodily attachment. And from the spirituality angle, one has to get out of such demoniac mentality and bodily attachment. If you think that these words, grossly foolish and lowest among mankind, are somewhat strong words, let's read Bhagavad Gita 9.12 translation and purport, where Srila Prabhupada has discussed this same point with real strong words. Raksha, if you want to please read 9.12 translation and purport faster pace.
Yes, Prabhuji. 9.12 and 13, Prabhuji, or
9.12 translation and purport.
9.12. Those who are thus bewildered are attracted by demoniac and atheistic views. In that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated. Purport. There are many devotees who assume themselves to be in Krishna consciousness and devotional service, but at heart do not accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, as the absolute truth. For them, the fruit of devotional service, going back to Godhead, will never be tasted. Similarly, those who are engaged in fruitive pious activities and who are ultimately hoping to be liberated from this material entanglement will never be successful either, because they deride the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. In other words, persons who mock Krishna are to be understood to be demoniac or atheistic. As described in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, such demoniac miscreants never surrender to Krishna. Therefore, their mental speculations to arrive at the absolute truth bring them to the false conclusion that the ordinary living entity and Krishna are one and the same. With such a false conviction, they think that the body of any human being is now simply covered by material nature, and that as soon as one is liberated from this material body, there is no difference between God and himself. This attempt to become one with Krishna will be baffled because of delusion. Such atheistic and demoniac cultivation of spiritual knowledge is always futile. That is the indication of this verse. For such persons, cultivation of the knowledge in the Vedic literature, like the Vedanta Sutra and the Upanishads, is always baffled. It is a great offense, therefore, to consider Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to be an ordinary man. Those who do so are certainly deluded because they cannot understand the eternal form of Krishna. The Brihad Vishnu Smriti clearly states, one who considers the body of Krishna to be material should be driven out from all rituals and activities of the Shruti and the Smriti. And if one by chance sees his face, one should at once take bath in the Ganges to rid himself of the infection. People jeer at Krishna because they are envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Their destiny is certainly to take birth after birth in the species of atheistic and demoniac life. Perpetually, their real knowledge will remain under delusion, and gradually they will regress to the darkest region of creation. Hare Krishna.
So Srila Prabhupada quotes strong verses here that those who think that Krishna's body is material, such a person should be boycotted, driven away from all activities of Shruti and Smriti. And if we see such a person, then we should bathe in Ganges to purify ourselves. So question becomes, is it so terrible that someone has misconception that we have to boycott? The answer is, understand the principle. Material world is a disease place, like a hospital. We come here to be cured. Different people have different infections. Hence, one may get deadly infection of misconception of the other person. Now, ordinary person cannot understand that there is infection, but a doctor understands. Hence, the infectious person is isolated. So isolation is not because that person is to be hated, but so that the person's disease should not spread to others. Just as there can be material disease, those with knowledge can see the disease of misconceptions. Hence, they may isolate such a misconceptionist or a Mayavadi. The Mayavadis are seriously infected by misconceptions, which kills our bhakti. How bhakti is killed? That because, according to Mayavadi's misconception, which we just read, that they think that Bhagwan and Bhakta are one. Well, then there is no meaning of bhakti. Bhakti means the Bhakta serves the Lord. So materialism is a disease that is largely visible to all of us, to many of us. Example, a person is too caught up with wealth or sex, etc. This is very easily visible. Hence, we will not mistake such a materialistic person to be spiritually advanced person. But Mayavadi, externally, he may be quoting verses, he may be wearing a saffron dress, may appear to be very saintly, but internally, he has infection. Therefore, we have to be careful. Therefore, the principle is that there is infection and that infection can come to us. Hence, we have to be cautious and isolate the Mayavadis. So, Srila Prabhupada is not judging them. Rather, Srila Prabhupada is asking us to be conscious with such strong words. Does that answer the inquiry? All right. Question number 3. How does one know when they have transcended from one stage to the other, meaning from Kanishta to the Madhyam to Uttamadhikari? The answer is by judging the characteristics of each level. So Kanishta Adhikari will always be fighting with someone or the other, and he only worships Gopinath at the temple. And then you look at the characteristics of Madhyam Adhikari, that he knows Krishna as the object of my meditation. He makes friends with devotees. He gives mercy to innocent, and he avoids atheistic people. So you can judge based on the characteristics whether you have moved on to the next level. Does that answer?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Question number 4. A brahmachari is specifically instructed to beg alms and offer them to the spiritual master. Is the spiritual master not allowed to beg? So we are disciples of our spiritual master. Similarly, spiritual master is disciple of his spiritual master. Example. So I just showed the video of my spiritual master serving the Vrajvasis as a disciple of his spiritual master Srila Prabhupada. Another example, I don't have the video handy. Recently, my spiritual master was distributing books in, I think it was again Vrindavan, or one of the holy places, should be Vrindavan. And the materialistic person who gave Lakshmi in coins, those coins fell on the ground and very close to the feet of that materialistic person who gave the Lakshmi. Without any hesitation, my spiritual master, His Grace Vaishyadas Adhikari, bowed and picked up that Lakshmi from the ground because it belongs to Shri Radha Krishna. So when we go out on book distribution, we collect Lakshmi, or some people, they give bhoga items in exchange. So these bhoga items we bring to the temple and offer to Gopinath. So these bhoga items are alms. When we go out on book distribution, say next time my spiritual master comes to Toronto, he's planning to come sometime in August, end of August. We go out on book distribution. Some people give bhoga items, that is alms. So my spiritual master is getting alms. Does that answer the inquiry?
Yes, sir. I have a question to the inquiry one.
Yeah.
In the verse 927, it says, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer, do that as an offering to me.
Yeah.
In that sense, can we offer whatever we are eating to Krishna?
Yeah. So 9.26, the previous verse to 9.27, Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. If you read the purport for 9.26, Prabhupada explains that specifically in Krishna did not say you can offer meat, right? So you cannot look at isolation. You have to understand the whole principle. Bhagavad Gita is one set of instruction. You cannot, we have discussed this at introduction of Bhagavad Gita, that you cannot take pieces that are easy for you to apply and ignore pieces that are very difficult for you to apply. So you have to understand the whole principle. 9.26, Krishna has clearly said only vegetarian fruits, milk, water, grains. These are the items to offer. Meat, he didn't list. He said meat you cannot offer. Similarly, you have to also understand that anything cooked by karmic people, you cannot offer. 9.26 clearly says the word bhaktya or the word devotion comes twice. It says patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tad aham bhakti upaharatam asnami prayatatmanaha. Matan Prabhu.
Oh, yes, okay, thank you.
So grow from wherever you are. Don't beat yourself up. We are here to understand what we are supposed to do on a go forward basis. Rectify whatever you need to rectify. All right. Question number 5. Why the real disease is in the heart? Heart is material and temporary. What is the relationship between heart and mind? So His Grace Chaitanya Chandas was asked this same question, and I will repeat his answer. So mind, we all know, is a subtle body. Mind's function is willing, feeling, and doing. Now, heart refers to two things. Heart as the organ that pumps blood in the body. And the second thing for heart is heart as the seat of emotions, our swabhava. Our emotions are in the heart, not in the organ heart that pumps blood, but all these are subtle in our body. So subtle body is the link between the spirit soul and the material body. So real disease is in the heart. Heart refers to the seat of emotions. Example, we have so-and-so enjoying mentality. So this enjoying mentality is in my heart as an emotion, as my desire. Therefore, the real disease is in the heart. Does that answer the query?
Yes, thank you.
Kunal?
So, Prabhuji, like I think there are some medical professionals here. So I think all the emotions are generated in the head somewhere. That is my understanding. Heart is just to pump blood.
That is not correct. So impressions are stored in your head, but subtle body is very connected. So the emotions are coming in the heart, not the organ that is pumping the blood, but heart as the seat of emotions. Kunal Prabhu?
Is that like scientific? I mean, spiritually, yes, understand that.
Yeah, science is not complete in itself. Right? Scientists don't know anything beyond a point. Right? Scientists only know few things about how materiality works, and that too they only know a portion. Just because a scientist saying doesn't mean it is right, and what the scientist saying doesn't necessarily mean it is wrong also. It just means that what the scientists are saying is incomplete. So I said in my response, before giving the response, I said this question about heart and mind was asked directly to His Grace Chaitanya Chandas, and I'm only repeating the answer that His Grace Chaitanya Chandas gave. His Grace Chaitanya Chandas is an authority on scriptures in ISKCON. Kunal Prabhu?
Got it. Very good.
Abhishek Prabhu?
Is there some relation between this physical heart and subtle heart because they do carry same name for some reason?
The relation is that the emotions are subtly somewhere close to the physical heart. That's all you can say. But do
Okay,
understand
thank
that the subtle body uh, is on the prana within the heart, meaning including the soul. So they can fluctuate within the body also.
you. Okay.
Question number 6. There seems to be some difference of opinions regarding Harinam initiation and Brahmanical initiation. And these three categories of devotees as Kanishta, Madhyam, and Uttam. As one definition of Kanishta is given as those who have received Harinam initiation, and at other places initiation is not directly referred as a criteria. Please explain the difference in definition of Kanishta and Madhyam stages. So initiation is not the criteria for determining whether somebody is Kanishta, Madhyam, or Uttam Adhikari. Uttam Adhikari for sure, you will have to be initiated. But Kanishta and Madhyam Adhikari, initiation is not the criteria. Rather, mentality is the criteria for these classification. An initiated devotee can very well be a Kanishta Adhikari devotee if the devotee is always fighting with somebody or the other. I will tell you my personal observation, and this is my Pratyaksha Praman. If you actually look at ISKCON, the challenges that ISKCON faces are actually with initiated devotees. The fighting that goes on at ISKCON is actually with initiated devotees. Why? Because they are all Kanishta Adhikaris. So initiation is not the criteria. Mentality is the criteria to determine whether somebody is a Kanishta Adhikari or a Madhyam Adhikari. Uttam Adhikari for sure you would be initiated. Does that answer the inquiry?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Last question for today. Is it recommended to not associate with Kanishta Adhikari, including myself and maybe others in a community, might be at the Kanishta and lower stage? So do we not give or take association among ourselves? So I already briefly described the previous question, the answer to the previous question about Kanishta Adhikari. First, I want you to understand that do not underrate Kanishta Adhikari level. In the scriptures, Dhruv Maharaj is an example of Kanishta Adhikari. Yes, Dhruv Maharaj. So do not judge others with these levels. Rather, these levels are for you to judge your progress. Everyone else is an advanced devotee than me. And within devotees, you find like-minded devotees to associate with and to do services with. Rest of the devotees, whatever be their level, that is between them and Krishna. For rest of the devotees, they are still devotees. You just say Hare Krishna with folded hands and move on. In terms of giving and taking association, you find like-minded devotees and associate and do services with them. Does that answer the inquiry?
And probably like just an extension on this point, if we get in touch with like circumstantially we are doing things along with a devotee or under a devotee with whom we don't match in mentality, then what should be the attitude to take this?
Yeah. In emergency, you will do services even with offensive devotee. Just don't interact with them at a philosophical level. Just go there in a corner, do the service because it's an emergency, because it's Krishna's service. Do it and get out of it. Normally, I will not do service with an offensive devotee, but sometimes it becomes an emergency. So what is a priority here? Your ego or Krishna's service? Right? Krishna's service is a priority. And that only in emergency. So don't take it blindly and apply it universally. It's only in emergencies that you will make an exception.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, striking points. You have 5 slides. This is slide number 1. Take a snapshot. There's slide number 2. Slide number 3. slide number 4. And slide number 5. Questions, comments, realizations? So we have completed nectar of instruction. From our next class, we will start nectar of devotion. So I had shared the shell document for nectar of devotion earlier. If anybody does not have it, you can get it from me or Sumnima. You also have the nectar of devotion shell document on the screen. You have 2 pages to print on a legal size page, and the second page, you chart number 4. For this, have a blank page. So these charts will populate throughout our study. For on class number 1, we will definitely populate the first page fully. So all these dotted lines and straight lines and bold lines and boxes, all of them have a significance. So try to just print it. If you try to make it virtually for you in electric form, could be a daunting task. So just print it. So I request all of you to please give me feedback on anything you want me to add, change, so that I can serve you all better. My Guru Maharaj has the mood of always better service. Therefore, I request you to please give me feedback. What I can improve upon from here so that I can serve you properly. You can send me a message offline. We are very close to 11:30 a.m. here in Toronto time. And bring the nectar of devotion shell document, will populate. Also listen to the nectar of devotion invocation that I gave you last time. And the nectar of devotion invocation is at the start of the nectar of devotion book. We will all collectively chant the Vaishnav Pranam prayers. I request all of you to unmute and we'll do it together. Shri Upadesha Amrit ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to Guru and Gauranga. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Let's all recite the Vaishnav Pranam prayers together. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubheva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Vaishnava
All
devotees
the
of the
Krishna
Lord.
devotee of the Lord.
They can fulfill the desires of our hearts, just like the disciples are full of compassion for the fallen souls. Thank you, everybody. We will stop here. Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.